hello everyone. Good to see ya. Welcome. Good to see ya. I see you out there, Tomateo. Awesome. Let's do this. Yeah, we're gonna dive into today's daily creative challenge. It's gonna be really fun. I hope you appreciate it. I'm sure you will, because it's all about creating liquids, or liquid type is what we're actually going to do, but you could do like basically turn anything into a liquid. And this is our journey across Photoshop, so this is going to be really good. All right, you can see my lovely map. In fact, if I switch screens, I'm just going to share my desktop. Has the same map. And we're going to turn things into liquid. So we're kind of in this area. Yeah, we're going to use a little Liquify, but there's so much more to it than that. So Greco, Michelle, Monica, Mia, what's up? How are you doing? Paul's in the house. Paul Naughton, that is. Welcome. Hello from Boston. Good to see you here. And just so you know, you can go to Beyonce /challenge/Photoshop. I'm just going to paste that right there. But it's basically in the challenge tab. So again, liquid type, that's where you're going to find the file. Get started. Bam. Let's get started. Let's download this file. Boom. Done. And let's dive in to the liquid type. Cool. Happy Monday to you, Tanya. Awesome. Happy Monday, Judith, as well. I like the positivity. I'm into it. Yes. Yeah, if there's only Waterfy, Liquify, yeah, let's do that. That's funny. All right, so we could see what you have in this file. You have a number of various layers. These are actually just kind of studies in water, to be honest with you. Like we have this water down here, which is pretty cool, but we're basically kind of studying what water looks like. I know it sounds silly, but it's like, hey, you know what? Let's see what water looks like. So that's why there's these samples. And this is what we're gonna have our type do, is bend as if it was like splashing out of water, right? Like so. Okay, so I have white as my foreground color. The text tool, selecting that, clicking right here, water is what I'll just type in. Okay, use whatever font you want. I know somebody's going to ask this, but the font is Alfresco. Yeah, so you see it right there, boom, Alfresco. It is a Adobe font, right? And I just encourage you to use like script fonts or handwritten, but the script fonts are going to have all that lovely flowiness to it, right? So that's why I'm using Alfresco. Okay. What's up, Donna? Sophia, what's up from Cambodia? Awesome. Atlanta, awesome. Karen's in the house. Karen, good to see ya. Yes. Gene, you guys are awesome. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. So this is going to be really easy, and I know you can search for tutorials on how to create water. I'm going to show you the easiest way, okay? And it's also going to be very flexible. This is what we're going to do first. You ready for this? We're just going to go over here and we're going to add a gradient, because this needs a little bit of gradient, to be honest with you. It needs varying levels of gray. So I'm going to add a gradient overlay, and it's going to be that first one right up there, or that one right there, but this is how mine is set up. It's going to go from light to dark. All right. Daniel, it is a beautiful day in Denver. That's where I am. What the heck? You're here too? That's cool. And then we're going to add a little bit of an inner glow. So we're going to have this very sort of blurred out kind of image, but we want all these grays in there, okay? So notice how my blend mode is set to just overlay. If it's not set to overlay, it's going to look something like this, right? And that might work out fine too, but I have it set to overlay, which happens to be the default. So really it's just click on gradient overlay, click on inner glow, and then click OK. Everything could use a little gradient, man. Jade, you know me. Like, that's awesome. Like, I love gradients. Like, yeah, they're all up in here. I love it, right? So we'll add color in a second. And the next thing we're going to do is we're not going to go up here and add filter gallery right now. Actually, I'm just going to convert this to a smart object. And let's just see what happens, actually. Let me just try this really fast. If I go into filter gallery, So if you click on Filter Gallery, it's going to tell you to convert it to a smart object or rasterize. How's my sound sync is off? All right, so convert to smart object. Bam. Sup, Tor? Jackie in the house. All right. So photo-wise, are there any specifics if you're gonna, use an image? Just make sure you have varying levels of color. That's all you really need. Okay, so here I am, right in here. You notice I'm in the filter gallery, and just whichever one you used last is going to be selected. But you have a number of them right up here, right? So you have. Let's move this up. Let's really zoom in on this. We have fresco. We have film grain. What about plastic wrap? Plastic wrap might get us there a little bit. We have rough pastels and underpainting, brush strokes. Again, I'm sure you've been here. You'll come in here and you'll just start clicking around, seeing what works, right? And that's all I'm doing. We have distortion. Ooh, glass, ocean ripple. Not quite there yet. We'll go down a little bit further. Down a little further into, we have sketch. And this is the one I would pick for the water. It's under sketch and it's chrome, right? Chrome is actually going to give us that water look, because what is chrome look like? It looks like liquid metal, okay? So there it is. There's chrome. We can play with the details off to the side. You know, my friend. All right. And let me just take care of something really fast. And yeah, let's just take a look at this, because I'm actually going to play with the detail a little bit. You're going to adjust those sliders. And there we go, fixed. I can play with these sliders, but you know what? Right down here, I can add more than one chrome. Right down here at the bottom, go ahead and click. Bam, right there. Now we have two chromes in there, and we can play with the detail and the smoothness, right? So that's all I'm doing. Adding two chromes. Boom, boom. I'll take that up and start to just kind of play with this a little bit, right? This is partially what I want. Don't worry, it's going to look much better, but we get all this fun work right in there. So for one of these chromes, I can kind of dial it down. For the other one, it could actually be a little bit more intense, just kind of depends, right? And by the way, when you start stacking these various, what are they called? Where's my brain today? Gallery and effects, it goes from the bottom up, right? So again, I encourage you to stack a couple of those. That's all I'm doing, like so, right? There it is. I'm just kind of playing with this. It depends on the amount of grays in your image, kind of determines how this obviously acts, right? Another thing I can do is I can turn off one of the chromes, and I can go up here to, I can actually add a new one, click for this new effect. I can add, like, let's try film grain, for instance. See what it does there? Stacking those two, film grain adds more texture. Boom. So we see all of that. And by the way, we can dial that up or down. So if we take that highlight down more, you could see what it's doing, right? So that's kind of the idea right in here. It's going to be a lot of these artistic ones will work. See, look at this. As we add these rough pastels, this is what it looks like initially, right? It adds all that texture. There we go. Add some detail, hit chrome, and it chromathize it, right? Just like that. So again, I think this is actually pretty straightforward and pretty fun to mess with, right? Let's take a look. That's pretty good. I'll click OK. We can kind of see it right in there. We can see that it's pretty faded out and all that fun stuff. All right, let me check. Sorry for not looking at chat. All right, so here we go. So here we have this water, right? From here, we can also jump in, go into filter, and we'll go down to Liquify. Like I said, we would use this. So whatever font you use, we'll select Liquify. We'll go right here to this one that's 6 down. It's the bloat tool. So right over here, we'll kind of bloat out some of these bottom areas like that, right? Anywhere there's kind of like an end, I'll kind of bloat it up more, right? So just bloating this like so, and having fun with each one of these ends. Just like that. Cool. Bam, bam, bam. Making this look a little bit more like water. Let's go over here to our forward warp tool. I'm not sure why it's called that, but that's will just allow us to pull certain areas, and we can kind of stretch things out like that. Okay, so that's all I'm doing. Stretching things out, clicking OK. There happens to be our water. It's a little dark, by the way. Guess what? If we double click inside of this water smart object, we can go into the gradient overlay. So there it is, gradient overlay. Let's tweak this a little bit, like we can add a little bit more, like a lighter area to the top, and it's gonna bring out more of that, the highlights in the water. So we'll close that. Look at how much it brought it out, especially right here, brought it out a lot. And then again, you can go in to filter gallery and always tweak this, because doing things this way, it's non-destructive. Yeah, do we want it more smooth? I want it more rippled, to be honest with you. That's why I'm kind of going in here. I'm like, you know, can I make this look even more rippled? Wait, I'm changing it. I'm working it. Right, we get a little bit more ripples there. Click OK. And now I want to play with this a little bit more. So bear with me. I'll go back in here to my gradient overlay. And again, tweak this back to the way it was. Kind of like that. In fact, let's go ahead and tweak this. This color stop right here. We're going to make more of it actually gray and not going that far into the whites. Okay, how did he get that window? You could speak to me. But basically, okay, whoa, look what I did, right? So yeah, I go to filter. I don't know if this is what you're referring to, but I actually just added a filter gallery. That's what I did. And you can start to stack those. Yes, exactly, Jade. Don't worry, we're going to do that as well. Perfect. Good call. We'll go into the filter gallery, back in here again, finding the type. There it is, right? I'm not crazy about this chrome, doubling up that chrome. Really doesn't do me any favors, does it? All right, we'll click OK. We'll go with that. And again, I'm going to tweak this a little bit more, going back into this gradient overlay. Adding a highlight at the very ends, because it just needs a little pop, right? Adjusting, saving it. There we go. That's looking a little bit better, right? The cool thing is I could start to stack these if I want to, right? So I could do a Command J to jump that layer. Now I have two, one on top of the next, right? And then for this one can have a little bit different filter gallery look, right? So we'll stack these. There it is. Boop. We're going to change some of this distortion. Just a little bit. Wait for it. Playing with it. All right, let's go extreme like that. Click OK. There we go. We'll change this to lighten. Now we have this one that should give it a little bit like a brighter look, and I can manipulate that some more. All right, cool. So this is the water so far. Also notice that we have these other layers right up here. So I had actually steal color from this one right in here. Ooh, glass effect is another one you can use. Yeah, honestly, this is all about encouraging you to try the filter gallery, right? So here's my water. I can turn that into a clipping mask just by holding the Option key, clicking between those two lines, and now it's clipped, right? We could see it right in there. So from there, I will actually change this to a color dodge, or basically play with the different blend modes. Overlay also works. Look at that, overlay. I'm a huge fan of overlay. So there it is, there's that water. We also have these additional, this third layer. So this is one where I'd actually steal some of these droplets, like was mentioned right in here. I'll grab this chunk right here, copying it, pasting it, and then I will change this to, say, lighten. There it is, change to lighten, like so. I can make it kind of splash off of the T right over here, like so, right? And let's go into the Command J to jump this layer. Let's flip it vertically. Let's move it down here, right? Making this look just a little bit different for this bottom part, like that, okay? Hopefully that makes sense, right? Glass effect, yep. Cool. All right. There we are. So here's something you might be asking as well. How to change the layer to clipping masks. So this is what I did, because I'm actually going to use that right now. Right over here, I will undo it. I'm holding down the Option key, clicking, right? I've released it, right? And let's just change this back to normal. You could also just right click right over here, create clipping mask. Boom, okay? But this is what I'm going to do in this case, because I want all the water droplets to be affected by this new clipping mask. So what you can do is you can take these layers. These are my droplets. 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 I could take all three of those layers, group them together, group from layers, water. Now they're all in this lovely folder here. And now I can say, hey, you know what? Clip that to affect everything in there, like so, okay? So that's what it's doing right now. I'm gonna change this to overlay like I was doing before, and I effectively tinted everything this splashy watercolor, right? So hopefully that makes sense. So, yes. And then we also have this splash down here. Cool. If you're joining me elsewhere, know that I am on behance.net/Adobe Live. And know that I appreciate you. And yeah, hopefully everybody's staying safe and you're doing well. Okay, I'm going to try one more thing. You ready for this? So, you ready for this? I'm going to double click right here. I'm going to go in here. I'm not sure how this is going to turn out, right? I'm going to hit B for brush, and I'm going to paint. Oops. We're just going to try this. Since we've pretty much completed our assignment, we get to play a little bit. Okay, so right over here, let's just kind of add a dot, a couple dots. We're just going to see what happens, to be honest with you. I'm going to save this. I've added to it. Let's go back out. I just want to see what this looks like, to be honest with you. Nothing. No, doesn't really do it any favors. All right. Okay, you ready for this? I might end up breaking this. Let's take this. Do some of the layers disappear when you're using clipping masks? No, they don't. I happen to put them in a folder, by the way, and that's where I put them, like that. Going into uncharted waters. So right in here, that's where everything is. But just like I added a clipping mask to this group, I could do the same thing in here. Inside of this water smart object, right, I can have a folder. You ready for this? This is going to be fascinating. I can option drag to apply the effect to that group, and then I can remove clear layer style. Okay, putting that in there. There we go, putting that in there, boom. What I just did is I did the same thing. I have this new layer group, right? That is the water and all the droplets. Anything else I want to add, but what it's going to do is it applies the gradient and the inner glow to it as well. So that's why these are all of a sudden darker. So even if I create a brush, just using a brush, I'm going to add like a dot right up here or a dot down here. And you can see in some cases it's lighter or darker. We're going to get our best results kind of right in the middle there, right? All right, that being said, we're going to save this. We're going to cross our fingers. We were experimenting. And, yep, it did it. It did it. So rather than using just, you know, splashes from another image, you can kind of make your own droplets. And that's what I did. Added to the smart object some more gradient little dots, and then they're being affected by the filter gallery, which is pretty cool. Cool, everyone. All right, that's what I have for you. Let me actually open up, let me show you kind of the final. I have more time, this is great. Let's open up this version. Here's another one, wash your hands. I just posted this to Instagram and Twitter, just so you know. You can find that out there on the social medias. And then also I have this one as well. So here's another water one, right? So we have a number of them made. You get the idea. Let's close that and let's tile everything and see what everything looks like now, right? So you pick the one that you like. Let's maybe move this one over, that one over here. You get the idea. Wait for it. I'm going to arrange them all horizontally. Maybe that's better. So, yeah, you got it. Wash your hands, wash your face, you know. There we go. You get the idea. But I think it's pretty fun. Again, the font is al fresco. The last one's the best. Oh, thanks. You know what? The last one is the easiest to read. These others, I actually like these two personally. I like wash your hands. It's a little messy. And then this water one's super clean. So anyway, you get the idea. Right. Once you have that done, go ahead and post. So file, export. I just have it quick export as JPEG, right? Yours might say PNG, just depends on what you have in your settings. Export it out to your desktop, saving that. There it is. Pick the phrase that you want, and let's complete this by going to Discord and posting it. By the way, everybody has done a fantastic job with what I'm seeing in here. Look at this one. Look at this. A griffin, right? That's a griffin, right? That's awesome. Oh, no. Well, actually, I'm sorry. I thought that was a lion, but no, that's half horse, so not quite. But super cool what everybody's been creating. This one's really good too. That was our challenge on Friday. So thank you so much if you've been hanging out with me and participating in these challenges. So it just needs soap. I need to put some soap bubbles in there and then I'll be done. Thank you, Wade. You're too kind. Take a shower every Saturday, whether you need it or not. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. I don't know. All right, guys, you got it. That is it for me. I have like 1 minute left and still plenty of time. So that is still about all I wanted to cover. So let me know if you have questions going forward. I use Chrome. Somebody also mentioned some other effects, but this is your chance to just play with these different effects, right? So for this one, by the way, let's go into Liquify. Oh, excuse me, not Liquify. I don't have time. I always keep on drawing it out at the very last minute. Filter Gallery 4, this phrase, just so you could see it, look at how good this one turned out, right? This has Chrome, and then I used Ocean Ripple, right? And that's pretty darn awesome, right? Chrome and Ocean Ripple. Also, if you go down in here, you also have additional textures you can use. So that's it for me, everybody. I appreciate you. I want to give everybody a big hug and say stay safe and wash your hands and sometimes use soap. But actually, we have a fun day scheduled, by the way. I'm sorry I don't have it up right now. Yeah. But basically, we have a fun day. You can see the schedule right below. And thanks, everybody, for watching, and we will see you soon. Thank you. Bye, everybody.